Hey traders, John Howell here. Hope you're doing well. Another edition of the road to my best year ever, and just going for a walk along the park this morning instead of going from the gym. And it's absolutely freezing. Just looking at the markets this morning and checking out what the markets are doing right now. And looking at some people's comments and some people's worries and some people's fears and a lot of things that's going on in the market right now. And I wanted to do this video for you and share some light on what I see and what I think is happening in the markets right now and why I think that's happening in the market right now. If you go back and have a look at time over history, a bit of a history lesson for you. There was a time back in 1937, and 1937 the government did the exact same thing they're doing right now. They try to print their way to recovery, and it never works, and it never does work, and it never did work back in 1937. I think it was 1932 to 1937. They actually printed a whole lot of money, and the Dow Jones went up 380 something %. But what happened at the end of 1987, was it? 87? 37, sorry, 37. 1937. What happened at the end of 1937? Well, obviously inflation happened, and obviously commodity prices started to go through the roof, which caused inflation. Like even things like silver going up and gold, that's kind of caused inflation, because silver is actually in a lot of things. Silver is in a lot of things that's in the market right now. So silver's going up. Commodity prices are starting to go up. That's causing inflation. I know oil's dropping back a little bit, but it's still up way from its low highs. I think the lows of like $14, I think it was, from memory anyway. And so that's what. And so so I'll continue the story back in 1937. So 1937, what happened is they got to a point where inflation happened. They didn't know they didn't know how to handle it, so they had to start raising rates. And when that happened, the whole thing came crashing down big time, and the stock market lost 50% in 1 year. And you look back at the 1937 crash, and you can see from 1932 what the actual government was doing is exactly what they're doing right now. They're printing, and they're trying to print. But if you look back at history, right, because that's all we've got. We've got as a guide, history is our guide. History is our guide to what the future is like, what his future is likely to do. And no matter what situation, yes, we're in a different situation here, but it's much worse than similar situations in the past. And so what's happening now is we're in a similar situation to what we were back in 1937, and before 1 year the stock market crashed. So I want to put that into your eyes, into my eyes, and think about that for a minute. And if you bulls are so bullish out there, you think this market's going to keep going up and keep going up, especially like Dow 20,000 and stuff like that. My view on what's happening right now, guys, is that this would not have happened if fake phony reports and government more stimulus into the markets to push it up. That wouldn't have happened. Now, here's what I do believe is going to happen, and I could be completely wrong, but here's what I believe is going to happen. This is what the government does. They push things up and they push things up. I saw this back in China. They push it up and they push it up and they push it up and they push it up, and they get everyone to think that everything's fine and you should jump in now and you should buy stocks. And then guess what happens? Pop. So then the market pops. And I believe we're actually at that phase right now. It may be this week, it may be the next few months, but I think the Dow Jones right at that resistance level, slightly making it, slightly reached a new high for the year, I think. But the S&P is definitely a new high. Nasdaq and Russell is nowhere near a new high. I actually think that this is just, especially the S&P. I actually think that this is just a bit of a false rally. I mean, it's a bit of a rally that's going on. And then I honestly do believe that the market won't sustain this rally and just keep going up for the next few months. I think you'll find over the next few months, by say the end of September, you're going to have a completely reversal trend of what you're seeing now. A completely reversal trend. Now, why I'm saying end of September is because that's, July, August, September, so it's over the next couple of month period. And that brings me to my next point for you guys. Guys, whenever you're trading, this is my best year ever. Okay, and that's what this series is called, my best year ever. And this is going to be my best year ever based on the trading I'm doing. And guys, based on what I've just said, with the 1937 crash, oh, and by the way, I forgot to say, if you look at the bond market, I'm going to do a video on this I'll be after this, but I'm going to do a video on this. The bond market and the sales expectations used to go in line with what the market was doing. Now they're completely separated. Guys, we will get a massive pullback. There's no doubt about that. When I show you this chart, it just speaks black and white fundamentals. That's the reason why, guys, I have long-term positions on. And now let me get back to what I was saying before. Whenever you're trading, I have long-term positions. I have long-term put options on the QQQ and the SPY, and also I got long-term options on the VIX. Actually, they're coming to expiration in the next 3 months, I think they are. So I'm going to be probably rolling them over to December. But guys, whenever you're in a trade, you need to say to yourself, where am I happy with my ultimate loss here? Because I think some of you guys have completely different. It's the way you trade, the way you approach the market, and the way you trade in this market it's just not the way to go. So what you do is you put one trade on, and you say, I hope this trade works, and if it doesn't work, I am in shit creek. That is not the way to trade, because you don't know what trade's going to work. So I have two styles of trading. I have my short-term trading, and I have my long-term trading. My long-term trading, what is it? I actually have a much smaller percentage, way smaller percentage of my account on those particular trades. And so I'm, especially with those put options and those put options I got, I'm an all or nothing with those things. All or nothing. Now, I'm all or nothing, meaning I'm risking 100%. I'm basically going to risk 100% on my options there. On my put options on the QQQ and the SPY, but they're a much smaller percent on my account. But if they work out the way I think they're going to work out, that could equal up to 20, 30, maybe even more percent of profit of the of the entire account at the moment. Do you know what I'm saying? Based on what I'm thinking here. So guys, that's what I'm saying, long-term trades. If you guys are going to say, oh my goodness, my account's in a bloodbath. Some of you guys are saying that, my account's in a bloodbath. It's like, it shouldn't be in a bloodbath. You should be managing your trades properly. When you're trading long-term, if you've got a position on, you've always got to have a plan when you're getting into the markets. This is, as I said before, my best year ever, and how I've been involved in the market for so long is this. I've always had a plan. If I'm a short-term trader, I'm going to put a bit more money on, 10%, sometimes even 20% of my account, if I really like it, and have a really tight stop. Short-term trades, right? Get in, get out. Then I have another style of trading where I don't care where it goes, and sometimes I whack about 20% on those trades because they're really, really highly successful, where I just don't care where it goes. And then I have my other style of trading where I'm long-term trading, but I have a much smaller percent on my account. A much smaller percent on my account on those particular trades. Makes sense? So the VIX I've got a lot more on, because the VIX just makes sense it's going to go up, by the end of this year. So, if I need a bit more time, I'll just roll them over a bit more time, but I'll be fine with that. Just got to be smart with that. So guys, if you're trading the market and you're hoping this market's going to drop and there's one trade's going to work out for you, and if it doesn't and it keeps going up, you're going to be in a bloodbath, you're trading too much. You're trading the wrong way. You need a strategy. As I said before, even if my put options right now on the QQQ and the SPY, even if those completely just go to zero, I'm going to be okay. Because I have all these other positions going as well too. That's what trading is all about. Makes sense? So whenever you're trading, it's important for you to be able to do that. It's important for you to be able to say, okay, I need to be smart about my trading. It's not about one trade, because you don't know which one trade is going to work. You just don't know. You don't know which one position is going to work. And that's where you're going to have a good trading setup, a good trading plan. You know what I mean? Good trade management, and good money management. And so guys, whenever you're trading out there and whenever you're going in the markets right now, just think about that. Okay, so what we've talked about in this video is the first thing we talked about was about this is a very similar situation to 1932 to 1937, and then we also said look at the bond market and look at the sales expectations. They've been completely falling off when the market's going up. We're gonna get a massive pullback, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. Second thing I said, my thoughts are on this market right now. My thoughts on this market right now. I'm speaking so fast right now. My thoughts on the market right now is this is a false rally and it's going to drop, and that's just what I think. And then thirdly, we talked about when you're trading. If you're trading longer term, every time you get into a trade, you need to have some sort of a plan. Okay, your plan. Is it a short-term trade? You're going to have a short-term stop and a bigger profit target, or is it a longer-term trade where you're going to trade a small percentage, more percentage of your account, and you got to say, okay, if I get the ultimate loss on this trade, am I going to be okay? And that's what you need. If you guys are saying you got a bloodbath in your account, you're trading way too much, and it's your own fault. And guess what? Those trades that you take are probably gonna stop you out and lose your money. Be smart about your trading decisions. Even if I think the market's going to go down, guys, I'm being smart about how I trade it. That's how I stay in the markets for a long time. This is John Howell here from this freezing cold morning in Australia, New South Wales, Sydney, that is. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. Just absolutely beautiful. The sun in my eyes. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.